Chris Demm. Biggie just said it. He's right. I'll recommend this. I don't know that Chris Demm would like this show. Biggie and I watch a lot of TV over the break.
For a month, that's all I've done.
We're TV people. I mean, we've said it a million times. You know, I was just talking to somebody the other day, and she said, between my YouTube TV and Netflix and all that, I'm paying as much as I used to pay for cable. I said, yeah, but we're TV people, aren't we? Mm-hmm. It's what we do.
I was waiting to tell you all this in person. I think you're going to be excited. I've dropped YouTube TV because of the price increase.
You did.
I'm back to basic.
You're back to
basic Biggie.
Basic cable Biggie.
Well, I have one local channel now.
Wow.
Only CBS.
So what about watching like Sunday Night Football?
No, that's out. Well, no, I have Peacock, so I can watch
Just
it.
stream it on.
Do that.
Mm-hmm. I did get.
How about a Fox game? Can you watch that?
I cannot see anything on Fox.
Wow.
I cannot see anything on Fox.
Honestly, the only reason I keep YouTube TV is for sports, live sports.
I did sign up for Sling TV on their cheap package. That gives me
you have to
ESPN.
sit through 30 minutes of Billy
Bob Thornton
monologue. Some folk call it a carter blade.
Okay, Billy Bob Thornton. I'm glad you brought him up. Landman is tremendous.
I knew as soon as you started it.
Oh,
Biggie
my
did it again.
Oh my God, Biggie did it again.
Did Biggie do it again?
Biggie did it again. Biggie did it. He did it. He told me Landman. Here's the success. Here's the formula for success. I figured it out for what's his name?
Taylor Sheridan.
Taylor Sheridan. He's done Yellowstone, Landman, some others. To me,
Scores of others.
Yeah.
Here's the real men doing manly work surrounded by unbelievably hot women who never wear clothes. That is a great and
that's all we want.
God, there is a woman in that show, Landman. It was Billy Bob Thornton's daughter. Now, she's playing 17, but I looked her up. She's 27. All right? Okay, let's get that out of the way.
It's not a guilty erection.
Okay. She never wears a shirt. She's in a
bikini
all the time. And it's just like, my God. I mean, yes, you just sit there and you're aroused watching this show with Billy Bob Thornton. It's unbelievable.
Chris Demm, he shares a home with like two of the other guys he works with. It's all set in the oil fields of Texas. And one of them is a lawyer, and he reminds me of what Chris Kelly would be like in this situation. Anytime the daughter's around, he can't be in the room.
You can't be in the room.
He feels so uncomfortable and guilty around her because she's just prancing around in a bikini.
Always.
Does he make an awkward excuse to leave?
Yes, always. He's like, I got to check the pool.
Oh, we go have breakfast in here.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. Now,
is it believable that three grown men share a home?
I think because the
way they do it, it's believable.
It's like the owner of the oil company, played by John Hamm, is a billionaire and basically said, here's a beautiful home. You guys share it and run my oil fields. Okay. The lawyer, the landman, and one other guy. So now that if you think that's a guilty erection, wait till you hear about this one.
Conclave?
The Pope movie. That's a guilty erection.
Best movie of the year.
Very guilty erection.
I highly recommend.
Those cardinals in their robes.
Not since Spotlight.
Actually, I thought of that.
Inappropriate arousal.
I really believe, Chris Kelly, this will be your new Spotlight.
You're probably
Conclave,
right.
because it's a thriller, but it's not a fast-paced movie. It's phenomenal. But I do think this could be your new every night I go to sleep to Conclave movie. Yeah.
Yeah, my wife wanted to watch Conclave, which is a movie about the Pope.
Picking a new pope.
Yes, and I said, all right, I'll watch it. And then she read, it's for smart people, so and then she said, I'll watch it by myself. And I didn't get...
Isn't there a game on somewhere? Click.
Yeah.
And you just sat there with glassy eyes.
I'll watch this when you go back to work.
I didn't even perceive that as a slight until like a day later. I was like, hey, wait a minute. That's right. So she'll watch that today while I'm back at work. She'll watch Conclave. I convinced her to watch that Blake Lively movie that she's suing over now.
Oh, yeah.
It Ends With Us. And it's excellent. It's really good. Empowerment. I was all about it.
That's the message?
Female empowerment. Yes.
Apparently, most people are talking about the behind-the-scenes drama on that movie.
I know. You know, the movie is about a guy she eventually marries, but it's so interesting at first. It's like, is he abusing her or is he not? And he is. By the end, you know he is. And then in real life, Blake Lively is suing him. He also directed the movie.
Right.
For like showing her inappropriate pictures and putting her in a position she didn't want to be in. And apparently this has gotten to be a really ugly lawsuit.
It's a horrible... I mean, and there were hints of this when the movie premiered because they would not be photographed together.
Yeah.
Lively said, "Don't take my picture with this guy." So she is suing him.
Mm-hmm.
He is now suing the New York Times for printing her story.
Yeah.
Who knows where this will end up? I don't even think our attorney Lisa Lanier could sort through all this.
Too much behind the scenes. I
Yeah.
don't really know enough about
Yeah.
it. But interestingly, the movie is about him sexually harassing her, even pursuing her, marrying her, and then abusing her.
Mm-hmm.
But, the first time, I look like a jerk and a half on this one. Here's how it starts. First, he's like this incredibly good-looking guy. He meets Blake Lively, a very attractive woman. They hit it off. He's doing everything right. I mean, he's like this romantic. He's a neurosurgeon. He's rich. He's unbelievably handsome. He wines and dines her, of course. Eventually, they become a couple. They get married. They're married. He, one morning, is making something in the oven, and they're not really fighting, but it's the oven starts to smoke. So he opens the oven, puts his hand in, and accidentally barehanded, and accidentally grabs it, and he's burned. And he goes, ah, and his hand goes back and slaps her and cuts her. So my wife is like, "That's abuse." And I said, "That's not abuse. It's a
reaction.
That's a reaction to it only." And so we had a little conversation over that. And
Did you have to pause the movie?
Yeah, we had to pause the movie.
Did the police come? We got a domestic disturbance over a domestic disturbance.
So meta. It's like inside the movie, And so it was like, I'm not sure about that one. I mean, I cut him some slack on that. He had never done anything wrong. He had never done anything wrong. Well, then I'm giving away too much of the movie.
Yeah.
Later, they're arguing again over something else.
Hold on, I got to get this quiche out of the oven.
Stand right. No, look there.
There.
Well, he says, "I
You
have
want an oven mitt? I don't need one." If anything, it's an ad for oven mitts.
Yeah, well, it is. The Of Glove.
Could have saved so much heartache.
It's true. And then he says, I've got to get away from this situation. He starts walking down the stairs. She follows him. They turn and start talking on the stairs. Well, winds up, she falls down the stairs. And it's like, did he push her or did he not? Did he? And so she's hurt then. Well, later they do flashbacks and they make it seem like he pushed her and they make it seem like he hit her intentionally when the oven mitt incident happens. Anyhow, it's very good. And by the end, you're like, okay, he is abusive. I mean, it's pretty.
He is the monster in the movie.
He is, but he's a flawed character, but also a good guy at heart. Later he's like, she wants a divorce, and he's like, I'll change, I promise. And he has treated her unbelievably well, except for those like 2 or 3 tiny incidents. But you see where it can happen. It's really well done. I thought it was very well done. That's not where I had the inappropriate erection.
Oh,
I recommended this show to Biggie, called Disclaimer. This is the most inappropriate erection I've ever had in my life.
I'm right there with you.
We were comparing notes. There are some of the best sex scenes I've ever seen in this show called Disclaimer.
who's in this? What's it about?
Cate Blanchett is in it, and she's married and goes on a vacation with her husband to the coast of Italy and her young son, who's like 4 or 5.
The husband, by the way, is Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh,
playing a serious role.
I didn't even realize it till halfway through. It's like,
Yeah.
who's Sacha Baron Cohen?
Borat.
Yeah, it's Borat.
Yeah.
And he's a bit of a wuss in the movie.
Yeah.
But anyhow, he has to leave the vacation, and there's this young, like 20-year-old guy, and they have an affair for 3 days while the husband's gone. Or do they? It's like how each remembers it.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know if really he attacked her or if they had an affair. But when it's his version of it and they're just having the affair.
And they present that first in defense.
In defense, they do.
In defense, they present it as just.
Oh, my
I mean,
God.
I don't even know how some of these sex scenes were allowed. I know
don't
it's
either.
Apple TV.
It's unbelievable.
But.
I mean, they were doing
I-
everything. You know, I'm like the stuff that you want to do, but your wife won't let you.
And she even says that.
Yep.
She even says it during. She's like, I'll never do this kind of stuff with my husband.
Yep.
Which is why you should never get married.
That's right. I mean, this is.
That's your takeaway?
Yes. This. And it's Cate Blanchett, but
So drop YouTube TV. Never get married. The Biggie plan.
it's a young Kate. It's a young actress playing Kate, and she is gorgeous, and the guy is good. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
really hot, and they are going at it. I mean, even on my milestone birthdays, never.
No.
Never.
Yeah.
And she's just like driving it too.
And this is all happening while her kid is in the next room.
Yeah.
Oh.
And sometimes he interrupted it, and I'd be mad. Mommy!
Yeah.
Mommy, I can't find my bear! Shut up, kid! Killing my erection.
That show is called Disclaimer. But then at the end,
Oh.
you find out it wasn't all like that at all. He may have attacked her, and then you're like,
Oh, you guys.
Oh,
it's terrible.
they set you up for that, though.
I know.
I feel like this is nothing but a setup.
I know.
The way they present it,
Yep.
you know, because as soon as they get to that part
Yep.
where it's presented the different way, I'm like, I'm an animal.
Me
I'm
too.
a terrible person. I
And-
need to go to church.
And after I went to church because we watched it. My wife said, you need to go to church.
Is that how the priest greeted you?
Yeah.
See, the disclaimer. Yeah,
Did
come
y'all
on.
pick a church out of like a mason jar this year or spin the wheel of
we
churches?
did? It was wonderful.
I don't think Biggie was privy to all that information.
You weren't here. My daughter wanted to go to church on Christmas Eve. We did. We picked one. Went with my brother-in-law and sister-in-law. Wonderful.
Was it a Korean Baptist?
Yeah, it was
I was a little lost in the middle.
It was it was really good. We had a very nice time at the church.
When I was in the hospital, I saw a priest in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
He looked up at me like, oh, there he is. And
Yeah.
I was like, not yet, Monsignor. Not this room, not yet.
Not today.
Did he hold up his little cross?
Yeah.
No.
This guy?
Okay. Keep walking, Father.
They had what's called a love feast with like sweet bread that you got to
Oh,
eat.
yeah, I've heard about, yeah.
I mean, I'm low carb, but that was phenomenal. When I had it, I was like, "This is delightful."
Thank you, Jesus.
This is the church for me now. I really enjoyed that. Here's how. This is Christmas as well. Amazon Prime is being slammed by viewers because they had a version of It's a Wonderful Life during the holidays that deleted a pivotal scene. It's the scene, if you know It's a Wonderful Life, where they show what Jimmy Stewart's character's life, George Bailey, would have been had he, not, when you go back in time and it's Pottersville, it's the terrible.
Had he
time.
never been born.
Had he never been born. He said, "I wish I'd never been born," and they show what it would have been like had he never been born. Well, they deleted that scene entirely. So
It's not a scene. That's like a series of scenes.
It's long. It's when he's running through the street. Before he's running through the street, it's like going to the graveyard, and his brother had died, and all those different things that he was not
His
there.
wife is an angry spinster.
Yeah, and he wasn't there to marry her or save his brother, and the angel tells him, "You weren't there, George," and it's like 10 minutes, and they deleted it. They didn't play it.
Was it the economy version?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, what's the reasoning there?
They said
They cut from the. My understanding is they jump. Jimmy Stewart jumps into the river to save Clarence the angel,
that's right.
and then they're sitting there in the wheelhouse of the bridge tender.
Yep.
And he says, "You get your wish. You've never been born." And then it cuts to Jimmy running through the street saying, "Merry Christmas, everybody."
Right, which is
That's not the point of the movie.
Some people on Twitter were saying, "Why don't you just show Die Hard without Hans Gruber?" That's the exact same. You don't have a pivotal part of the movie. So they said that there was some sort of lawsuit over the movie, copyright over that scene only, and they had a second version on Amazon that did have the complete movie. But
So what are you complaining about?
yeah. But a lot of people,
If you're a newbie, you might just
well, anyone really
click
could.
the thumbnail.
Apparently, it was the abridged version of.
I didn't even know that existed.
No.
Why would you have two versions of It's a Wonderful Life up there?
That's an editor who cannot show his or her face in Hollywood.
No.
Right. It was awful. And I mean, it got thousands and thousands of complaints of people saying, how can you take out this beloved movie, a scene that is so pivotal, especially?
Now this is coming. Your rant is coming from a person who, for the past almost 6 years now and counting, have been telling people who sit in Biggie's chair, cut it down, cut out the emotion, cut out the pathos,
Yeah.
cut it down.
Make it shorter. Make it shorter. That's true.
You cut things down.
I do, but we're pressed for time in here. That's a streamer. You can watch that when you want. You can pause it. You can rewind it. I do say to Biggie, remember the best example was who was the basketball player who had a speech about his mother? Oh, it was Kevin Durant. He
KD.
won. Yeah, he
His
won.
first MVP.
Exactly. And he spoke eloquently about his mother for 3 minutes and was brought to tears. And I told Biggie, I want that in 15 seconds.
What kind of monster would cut BD's speech about his mother?
Exactly. Media guy Craig, you can speak to this abridged version of It's a Wonderful Life. Go ahead.
So somewhere back there, it was considered to be in the public domain. So anybody who had a print or a version could put it up anywhere. And that's why there were cheapy VHS and DVD versions for years. And TV stations would show the stuffing out of it around the holidays because there's no license fee to pay.
Right.
And then eventually NBC Universal found that they had the rights, so they do own it at this point.
We're going to have to cut you there.
Oh, Lord.
I'm sorry.
You did it again.
We're pushed for time.
Attaboy, Clarence.
See the ending. But isn't the ending really good? There it is.
Yay!
Thanks, media guy Craig.